Okay, here is video log number 9. And today we're going to be talking about research, which I have very little experience with. I don't think I've ever engaged in any formal research program. The extent of my research is like papers. My senior year in high school, we did a senior project, which required a year-long's work of research, but it was very low-key, high school level, just kind of looking at books and websites and writing a 10-page paper and then having a big presentation afterwards. But it was not at all socially related. Mine was about lead poisoning and the effects on humans, specifically children. So it was much more scientific than social. Um, I am participating in a creative inquiry called Educational Counseling, and it deals specifically with gay and lesbian novels and a lot of studies based off of reading those novels and social justice, but I'm not doing much of the research. I'm more of the one being researched. In our creative inquiry, we read these books and then we discuss them and present on them and come together and write formal articles about them. And then our creative inquiry leader gives us, well, we choose the books that we want to do and then we present on the books that we want. And he just kind of like, keeps us going, has a place for us to meet, has a projector so that we can present, and he participates with us. But he is also running a bunch of other social research opportunities for students in classes to come and read books like this and then take surveys. And he's kind of like looking at differences between reading a gay novel versus a lesbian novel, or like how you respond to knowing about the book beforehand, or meeting in small groups. So he does a lot of really interesting social research, but we aren't really part of it. But it is fun to be to participate in the creative inquiry and read the books and present on them. At this point, I don't consider myself a researcher. I mean, we've done a little bit of research for this dialogue, but a lot of it is just activities that we've done before and getting other people to talk. So I feel like I'm sure dialogue has a lot to do with research, but I feel like at this point all we're doing is giving people an opportunity to share their experiences, which, I don't know, research kind of means to me reading a bunch of really old, dusty books and putting together as much information on one topic as you can. And Marie and I and my other partner and I will certainly have to do a lot of research, especially over the summer, just to make sure that we know everything we possibly can about our topic. But I know that our third semester is going to be the big piece of that. It's going to be mainly research. Um, so at this point, I don't really know if I consider myself a researcher. I guess I'm a budding researcher. Um, but my strengths and limitations in this process are going to be I definitely have very little experience, especially with social research. Um, I'm very open to learning, and I felt like this entire class has been a learning experience, and I feel like I'm doing pretty well. And so I'm not too worried about not knowing anything to begin with because I think that most people are in the same boat as I am. But my strengths, I am a pretty dedicated, determined person, so if I'm given something to do and it's really difficult, I have no problem working harder to get it done. Um, I'm pretty organized, so I keep all kinds of documents, all kinds of lists, and I don't think I'll get overwhelmed with the amount of research or the amount of books or information that we have to put together. I really like putting them together in an order that makes sense to me, and so I think that I'll be really good about keeping everything organized, whether it be chronologically of when we found it or into groups of how they make sense together, or like a research that builds on smaller things. So I'm definitely very open to hearing other people's ideas and kind of putting them together into something that makes sense. Um, through being an RA, being a PDF, being involved in so many things similar to this, I feel like I've really developed my leadership skills, and I have no problem taking a lead if I need to on anything. And I also have no problem following. If someone has great ideas and they know how to put them together, I have no problem following them and aiding them in whatever way I can. So I'm certainly excited to hear more about how this research process is going to happen. And but at this point, I'm pretty unaware of what's going to happen. So yeah, I'm excited about it. And this is going to be the end of video log 9.